Welcome back to the Alienware Cup, where we're going into what could be the final game here for $25,000 for first place, $12,000 for second. NAVI are on match point. If they win this, they're going to win 3-0. Who would have thought coming into this matchup that they could win that much, by that much, sorry.
Could be.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Did you say 3-0?
No, I said they were going to win.
Oh.
I said I was going to
Well,
say it could be the last game, but should it be the last game? I mean, if
Sounds
you're
like
if
Mr.
you're
Bruno.
Like
if you're Navi
Sounds like
right
American politician. That's all I'm saying.
now, if you're Navi right now, that's kind of like half a compliment at some weird way. But if you're Navi right now, you're 2-0, you're confident, you're dominating because you're not winning like close games. You're dominating. You go crazy. It's like I'm going to show off. Remember Alliance doing like the level 1 Roshan strat with all the TPs in China, getting all the people in China their attention. I'm Navi. I'm going to say like, I'm not only going to win this Alienware Cup. I'm not only going to take the $25,000 to my house and buy lots of random stuff. I will go and blow their mind. And if it doesn't work, I'll win again anyway, so it's fine. I'm just saying.
Politician-y. I like the way you put me in your shoes and their shoes, and then you relate to me and you say what I should do. I'm voting for you.
I will have a beer with you, random citizen.
Thank you.
Random citizen. And you know to make a man feel special, too.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, come sit on my lap, and I'll tell you a story.
I think we need to get new tables here at BTS. 'cause these tables are getting worn the
Bruno
hell
needs
out.
like a set of bongos
do
or
this
something.
at our
Where is
studio
Dresco
as
when
well?
you
Yeah, I did that.
Oh.
But the tables are better there. So
We can't all have nice things, Lumi.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else to follow that
Me
up.
neither.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a weird intro to the final game, admittedly, of an Alienware Cup Grand Finals. I think we did it a lot of justice.
yeah,
Really hype, really smooth and polished.
I think LGD should do something different. I think Navi are very smart. We'll see if something changes game 3. Was that good? Was that okay? Did I do well? Will you invite me back? Can we come back?
Will I invite you back?
Yeah.
Sure. But I'll be
Bruno
reluctant
doing?
about it.
try to understand the game.
All right, we'll hop into the draft now. Kawa has taken over. He says, screw you guys, we're hopping into it. It's game 3 of a best of 5, the Alienware Cup Grand Finals, a $60,000 online event. The winner of this best of 5 takes home 25 grand in US dollars. The loser only sitting on 12 thousand. A little bit of extra money as some teams were penalized for unprofessional behavior, but by and large, it's 25K, a lot of pride. On the other side, it's only 12K. LGD currently trailing 0-2 in that best of 5. NAVI, they've seen, and they've almost conquered. Man,
Almost.
my English is great. It's because I got Lumi here at my side.
Man, Lumi always get the hate for the English, but wait till you see the rap, man. That's when everything goes away. Darkseer is going to be the 3rd ban here for LG China as they go back for Alchemist and Magnus. This is a hero that we've been harping for. It's not for the RP. The RPs were hitting grounds, but it is the powers that's going to allow Alchemist to take the farming game away. Navi seems like they wanted to take this early to mid, and Dragonite and Shen are 2 ways to do it. I think Dragonite's going to have a decent time because no matter who he lanes against, whether it's an Alchemist or Magnus, with then the skill on the hero, he should be able to kind of take the lead in the game.
I like this a lot better because now with the Mag pick, it should be a solo mid Mag. Mag does pretty well against Dragonite mid. Alk should be that safe lane farmer. LGD, if they're not going to be creative, they have to be smart about not being creative, which means not getting too greedy. Alk mid was too greedy last game. Their lanes were way too weak with an Alk Nyx dual lane against a triple ranged tri-lane. So I think this is a smarter opening for them. Sure, it's a bit predictable. Maybe it's something that Navi can punish, but at least it's a tried and true method.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want a sub for this last game?
I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good. I ain't no Ben Wu.
The LD, replace me, please. This game is too boring. We want blood. We want blood. No blood yet. But the draft continues. Darkseer and Rubik banned out by LGD, removing the Funnic Darkseer, something that they usually will turn to, and of course the Kurakai. I've been told it's Kuraki now. Rubik. I have no idea. Kuroki.
Kuroki's
I like
good-
Kuroki.
Yeah, good enough for me. Bane Elemental here banned out for themselves. Are they looking to pick up a melee carry? Because I thought Bane would be good against Alchemist. We saw him do fine against last game. Any
And
reason
Shadow
you think,
Demon.
Yeah, any reason that you think Bane is banned out? Are they looking to pick up a carry maybe like an OD or something like that? that is so high priority in a single target that you just don't want him to get locked down?
An OD is an option, can dominate the mag mid. They could run a safe lane farming Dragon Knight, but it's a bit rare for any team to do that. We'll see where they go. Banning Bane and Shadow Demon, it's just strong defensive supports. I think that's the main thing. It's a hero that doesn't need a lot of farm, and the Shadow Demon especially, the Bane to a lesser extent, to get stuff done. And it means if Navi jump in and want to kill somebody, there's no defensive sleep for 1 second, there's no Shadow Demon disruption for 2.5 seconds. They won't have as much defensive firepower. But I don't see any huge pressing reason to ban these heroes. Just seems like good supports that LG like to run.
Okay. I was very certain that Navi was going to go Storm 4th. And they might even go Storm 5 here. You put the Dragon Knight mid, have Havos lane it. They did swap the lane from Dendi and Havos from time to time in the Alienware Cup. And then just say, hey, Storm on the 1 row, and then just go to work. We did see, I think it was LG China? No, it was LG punished it yesterday with the offensive trialing anti-mage, if you still remember that.
Yeah.
I don't think this particular lineup can punish it as easily, though.
Yeah, because they already have a Prophet now. So if they tri-lane, it's like a support Alchemist in the tri-lane.
You could run offensive trialing with Alchemist with like Crystal Maiden and insert another support.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have to be an anti-mage, but we'll have to see. I think it could even be, if they want to run a Storm, I just put the Storm mid.
Sure.
There's no reason, and they have the lane to run them in. Last time, that was the issue, was there was nowhere to lane that Storm because it was an OD mid. It would be a mag mid. That's something Storm can deal with, so if they want to run Storm, it's definitely an option. Chen's a nice combo here. You can send him home right as he jumps in. If he's low, he can zip away while he's being sent home. Lots of ways for that Storm to get out of trouble. LGD are very tanky, so you look at the Magnus, the Alchemist, you definitely want some sort of additional lockdown. Something like an Orchid, the Pole could be an option. I think it could work in this game.
We'll see. Also, one thing to point out is that Windrunner on the Radiant side, Funnick will be playing that. He'll be doing the Ancient camp. I think yesterday IG was smart up to it. They tried to run up the cliff to put a ward. Remember, they got first blood immediately. So I think Navi, for their sake, they're going to go secure the camp very quickly. And then LGD might try to challenge it. So we might see actually a quick first blood. A Lycanthrope being banned out here against Navi, as they did actually pull it out the other day. I think it was Puppy that played it.
Yeah, you look at LGD, they do have good counter push, but I guess it's more that they don't have that much great initiating stun. And that means against the Lycan that it's hard to run him down. Sure, he might not push your tower down 5v5, but he'll split push you to death. That's the big problem. So a bit of an unorthodox ban, but I can't fault them for banning the Lycan. I do want to mention it could be a Dendi Windrunner mid. Windrunner does pretty well against Magnus, not quite as good as a Queen of Pain or a TA at shutting
Everybody
the Magnus
does
down,
well against Magnus.
Yeah, but you can zone him out. Mushi has done that before for RNG Sports. Maybe it's something Navi will think about. That would give them a safe lane Dragon Knight, or they could do the standard thing, which would be Dragon Knight mid, off lane Windrunner, possibly farming the Ancients early. We saw that quite a few times yesterday. You get an early Quelling Blade, you eat a bunch of trees, and you just plink away at them to the west of the Radiant Ancient camp. So either that, and the Dragon Knight mid, and then some farmer for Havost, if that's how they want to go.
I'm surprised they haven't picked up Gyrocopter yet. And I still think that Gyrocopter could fit this lineup, put DK mid like you said, and just run your standard lane. That could actually push quite well with Leshrac Diabolic Edict, with the Flat Cannon mowing down the creep wave, and of course Chen creeps and whatnot.
Yeah, Gyro's definitely an option. You can get the early Rina Basilius, you can push towers with, like you said, Edict, Chen creeps. He scales well in the late game, he can get involved early. He matches up okay against Alchemist. Once it's later on, he actually does more.
Ooh.
But they'll go for some swag here. It's going to be a Dendi Fiend mid.
And that will also
Most
be
likely
Magnus.
mid.
For anybody that's keeping tally at home, yes, everybody will beat mid.
Everybody and their mother beats the
You
Magnus.
could run CM mid and still beat Mag mid.
So that puts our Dragon Knight safe lane, off lane Windrunner, and defensive tri lane with Chen and Leshrac.
Yeah, Dragon Knight on the safe lane isn't too bad. Your melee stun is pretty crappy, but hey, you know.
The one thing that's good for LGD this game is they'll trade an uncontested safe lane Alchemist farm. I don't see Navi going aggressive tri-lane here. They could, but Dragon Knight's not really a strong solo. He's not that strong of a combo here with Leshrac because his stun is a melee initiation. So almost certainly defensive tri-lane. And LGD, yes, they're trading, and yes, Navi are getting free farm on Dragon Knight, and they'll probably win mid for Dendi Shadow Fiend, but free farm Alch and a Prophet and a Mag can make up for that.
I'm going to say Blink, BKB, EB into crits. Let's go. Let's go, Dendi.
Well, let's see if Opa Dendi style might be getting played by the end of this game. It's game 3 of a best of 5. If you're just joining us, this could be it for LGD China. They've got to find a way to battle back, else They will finish second place, only taking home $12,000 instead of $25,000 in this 60K prize pool event. It's the Alienware Cup, and it's your grand finals, brought to you by MasterCard, Alienware, and DPM Interactive. Navi on the Radiant side, grouped up as 5, heading towards the LGD jungle. Havost, your Dragon Knight player, he loves to go balls to the wall. Dendi, your solo mid, Shadow Fiend, already Funnick with the Quelling Blade. It will be Ancients for him. Kuroki on the Leshrac, and last but certainly not least, it's Captain Puppy playing the Chen.
On the other side, LGD down 2 games. Need to win some. Need to win 3 in a row. In fact, Sylar on the 1-row Alchemist. He will be farming away. DD's going to be on Jakiro, and meanwhile his partner in crime, DDC, is going to be playing on the support Sanking. Going mid is going to be our Magnus player, Xiao. Or no, it's Yao this time here. Xiao dropping bombs on the ground.
Oh, I'm so happy not to see a Xiao 8 mag.
Yeah.
He actually had the game-winning RPs in the end of that Game 3 versus Navi in the winner bracket semifinals it was, but... Oh, no, winner bracket finals, I believe. But still, Xiao 8 is an exceptional offlane prophet. He was just crushing teams in the lead up to the International 2, even in the group stages. He'd have one of the fastest mechs you'd ever see. This was back in the day when teams would run just a 1v1 a lot of times, so he would be a prophet, 1v1 against, say, a Tidehunter. He'd have a mech by 9-10 minutes, completely turn the game and break it open. I don't know that he'll have that 8-9 minute mech, but I think Prophet, a hero that he's just much more comfortable on, and they'll give Yao the hero that he excels at, which is that Magnus.
I mean, he's already up to no good trying to pull the creeps, although the supports on the Navi side doing a very good job. Oh, I say that. Nobody kills it. Here comes the other tree, and no, it gets converted.
Puppy.
Nothing for
puppy,
you.
puppy.
Well, the creep wave is being drawn out by Havost. He's trying to tank it and trying to make sure that it doesn't go onto the tower range. Just loop-de-doo around the trees.
Oh, they want to punish Funnick here. They're going to smoke up, or are they just going to go mid? Funnick might reveal them in a few seconds. He's been farming Ancients. They're waiting for a first blood. If Denny walks down this hill, he could be dead. He's still perched on the hill. He walks into the river. He's feeling a bit confident. He is to the right, however. The smoke is going to come. He walks right into Burrow Strike range. This could be first blood. This looks bad for Dendi. A lot of damage and skewered back. That's the Yao Mag in action. And as good as Dendi is, he ain't getting out of that one. Punished early. LGD... They're trying to set the tempo of this game.
Yes,
they're trying to take the fight to Navi. They're running heroes that they're more comfortable with. It's looking good for them so far. As I say that, though, Kuroki is trying to set up a backstab of his own. He's coming in. If this Split Earth hits, Xiao 8 will probably die. He will get stunned. Now with Dragon Tail available. There it flies. Look for the body block. Look for the Breathe Fire. Xiao 8 trying to work his way out. 2 more hits will be his death. Flame Breath available. They need 1 more hit. No, they don't. Call it. 2 Arsart level Split Earths there. No setup stun for Kuroki. Jams it in anyway. Lumi? I was about to ask you, are you ready for a farm fest? Because it's an uncontested safe lane Alc. It's a mid Shadow Fiend and a safe lane Dragon Knight, but already 2 kills.
Yeah, I also believe that was actually the first smoke gank for LG China that worked in 3 games. So
They've broken that slump.
I guess the lines are aligned, at least for this one. LG China off to a quick start. They do have the draft. They do have the heroes they need. And particularly, they do have the lanes. Of course, Xiao 8 not doing too well on the bot lane, but hey, you can't ask for much. He does have Boots of Speed, so that's going to make him somewhat survivable, a little bit more survivable on the bot lane. Regen, we're going to get secured by Puppy on the bot lane, and that's no good for
we'll have to keep an eye on Puppy. Can he find a Wildkin? Because that's been one of the keys to his jungle game is, even though he puts a lot of... He supports Dendi, he's more active around the map than a lot of other jungle Chens, particularly, I think, Extinct from Orange is your classic example of just an AFK jungle Chen. Just get a Wildkin and exclusively farm. Puppy, he'll help out the mid lane a bit more. He'll try and put pressure and control the runes, but he catches up with the Wildkin and the creep stacking. And so far, no Wildkin for him. Still farming pretty quickly with the Dark Troll Summoner.
Yeah. Also, we've seen Puppy in the past says, hey, I don't care about the mid lane too much. Let me just get to quick 5, quick level 6. That is the same way that they played it against LG China in the winner bracket finals. Dendi was having a tougher time that game. This game, though, he's doing quite all right. 9-7 is his last hit. Those denies is going to hurt Yao quite a little bit later on.
Yeah, Dendi's still doing a really nice job mid lane. 10-7 after giving up a kill that early. That's not easy. And although Magnus isn't the best at denying creeps, he is still great at last hitting them with shockwave spam. But Dendi just getting the better of Yao in the mid lane so far. 11-8. Still, the death hurts Dendi a lot. He just picks up his bottle now. Overall, I'm always worried whenever I see an Alchemist getting uncontested free farm and he's maxing greed. And that's exactly what Sylar's doing, already up to 1,500 gold. Simply because of that, I think there's a little more pressure on Navi this game. Mainly, I think they should be looking to push some towers. They have the Chen, they also have Edict, and they'll go for it now. Puppy coming in, he's got 1 creep. The Trance will slow this down a bit, but Prophet not the best counter pusher, can't really fully stop a push. The creeps get stunned. They'll be driven back. This is smart from Navi. I like the fact they're taking this early tower.
Yeah, the fact that it actually blew up all the treants are pretty huge as well. Generally, as a Prophet player, you use those treants to draw the creeps to you and away from that tier 1 tower, and you protect that tower that way. Unfortunately, he doesn't have mana for the second summon. He doesn't have it now. Gotta be very careful. He'll vote to easily walk up and get a
Smoke number 2.
Well,
mid lane, they want Dendi again. This time, however, Dendi will escape the net for the time being. They're not warding the Ancients. Now they'll place a ward there, but you can't kill Funnick. I mean, he's just sitting over in this area. Like, in order to kill him, they'd have to run all the way around, and they'd probably need a third hero. So I don't see Funnick dying. And I want to point out, after Dendi died once, they put the Observer Ward, they put the Sentry Ward down. They're going to make sure that he's safe from future ganks, or at least make it as hard as possible to kill him.
Well, Yao does have himself a haste string, so Dendi could be easily killed if he's not careful enough. In fact, you can pop the haste and go for him right now with the support running.
They need RP, because otherwise he's got to run past Dendi and skewer him back, which is
a little bit tough.
A low percentage play.
Well, Dendi down to about half HP, still lasting away like a champ. Meanwhile, tier 1 is going to go down on the bot lane. Didn't see who lasted it, or was it denied?
It was the Radiant.
Okay.
So nobody on the team got the first hit. Or the last hit.
Nobody got that 264, guys.
Puppy, give me a Wildkin, he says. Come on, Ice Frog. Come on, Ice Frog. Where's that Wildkin?
Like Dr. Warlord, it's not bad as an early gank creep.
Oh, it didn't get the stack.
Yeah.
Well, instead he'll find a Dr. Warlord. Again, this is just going to slow him down a bit. He'll still get some farm. It's not like he's falling horribly behind. They are getting a Windrunner farming Ancients. And Xiao 8, I guess the nice thing for Xiao 8 is even though he gives up a tower early, he's already level 5. And in general, when we see when teams push these tier 1s too early and don't go for 2, that the enemy offlane gets a lot more than normally what they should have any right to.
Although Havos is doing a very good job zoning him out as a melee.
I don't know how you can zone someone out as a Dragon Knight, but only Havos has unlocked those secrets. Dendi mid, there's your RP. Skewer should come. Now the Ice Path, no mana for a Skewer actually, and now the net comes through. Dendi low, but still in fighting shape.
Body block from Puppy.
Oh, he's alive. He's got 3 stick charges. He'll pop him a lib, but Yao says you're not running away that easy, Dendi. One more hit. He almost got him with the raise. Yao is going to live. No, he's... What? Oh, my God. Not die. Oh, the power shot just goes right through his body. Doesn't kill him. Puppy cleans up. They used a lot, but they got another kill on Dendi. I'll say even there.
I mean, Puppy was just playing out of his mind with those micro and came in rotation with this hero. A lot of players was like, oh my god, micro Dr. Warlord, and then forget my hero. My hero's at Roshan at this point.
That's why you need Arcane Boots on Mag. I mean, you could see there, just don't have mana for the combo.
Was tough. The haste string, I thought it would have been a very clean kill. It wasn't like that, but let's direct our attention up to Sylar up top here. You were saying, man, you do not let this guy free farm on Alchemist.
Really, Sylar?
It was a 5-minute Midas. And if this guy goes Battlefield Radiance after his Midas, I'm going to lose it.
Thousands of years of farming experience. Thousands of years.
That's what I said last year.
Well, I'm stealing your material now. I'm not feeling very original
Make me come up with new lines.
Yeah, that's what you're here for. You're here to give me material that I plagiarize.
Okay.
Okay. Navi, it's early. Scores 2-2. 7 minutes in. Remember, they lead this best of 5, excuse me, 2-0. Thank God it's not a best of 3.
I think they might be going on the
They
middle
might be
again.
going on.
Sprout's going to go in against Dendi. Ice Path's going to follow through. Skewer backwards to the low ground. Dendi says, man, that is just a lot of hate.
That was a really nice skewer. You skewer him down here, it's just like impossible to get out of that corner. And if Puppy's coming from the jungle, that's as far away as possible for him to get the send back. I just think Yao is the better Magnus player on this team, and we're seeing a little bit of it. But truth be told, it's just constant aggression against Dendi. And Navi, we've seen this before where they'll just sort of sack Dendi. They'll send some help, but they won't park a support behind him. And they figure that Dendi can catch up in the mid game. They'll stack some creeps for him. He's level 7. If he wants to go to the neutrals, he can still make up for these deaths by getting some farm there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's not just about getting the kills. I'm sure in a solo mid position, when you die repeatedly to multiple ganks, as a player, you get frustrated. Yeah. And I'm not sure how much that will affect Dendi. Dendi's been in these situations more times than one, so I know he's going to recover quite admirably, but it gets on my nerve when I see somebody ganking me hardcore, and let's see how Dendi recovers. He's a great player, though.
Dendi throwing out a raise, driving DD off the rune. The 8-minute rune will spawn top. No, it was denied by Puppy, I believe.
Centaur, yeah, running through.
Yeah, Centaur denies it, so prevents Yao from getting an early big item. Yao now is his Arcane Boots, working towards a pretty fast Blink Dagger. Also want to point out, Xiao 8 has abandoned the off lane. I think he's done his job, which is just put a little bit of pressure on the bottom lane, stop Navi from taking 2 early towers, and he got the experience there. He hits level 6. We'll see if he wants to go for a mech or a Midas. With already a Midas on Sylar, this might be one of those games where you want the Prophet to have some presence early on.
Also, if you look at Funny, has he actually left that position yet? I swear he stood there for 8 minutes. He's just like, All right, guys.
This is where you get a drink, you put your feet
Yeah.
up, and
This is gonna be my best,
you call
AFK Dota.
you call that girl that
Call that
Denny
girl.
was seeing.
Wow, that girl gets around.
Jeez.
That's all I got.
Jesus.
All right. Looks like we're jungling
She's
some.
a nice lady,
She is, maybe.
I'm sure.
All right.
For the time being, LGD 5 on their side. Kawa's just cringing right now at the desk.
Everybody's
Everybody's
cringing,
There's
man.
so much failfish in the chat as soon as this comes out in a minute and a half. And Sylar up to a Midas. He's got 1,500 gold for the time being. And he'll continue to farm. He went back for treads. Does he go Shadowblade here? Does he get super greedy and go for Battle Fury?
I
do you think?
think you go Shadowblade. There's no reason to go more greed than Grievous greed and Midas. I think you're absolutely fine on the farm.
All the greed.
All the greed. Too much greed to hold in your hands. I think one of the big problem with Alchemist is that your slots gets filled up quite quickly. You want to get items that matter, and one of the items that matters from start to finish is Shadowblade, is AC, is BKB. I think those are the items that he should be working towards to.
We'll see if Shawake gets greedy. Up to 700 gold. The good news for LGD is because Navi didn't take this tier 2 early, now they've got some levels on their Jakiro, so pushing into it will be rather difficult. I think they can still bring it down, but it'll take longer. They won't have as much creep support, and we'll see if Yao looks to rotate. No Blink Dagger up, looking for the 10-minute rune. It's going to be a DD. He's got a TP scroll. They could look to defend this tower. Navi have to be careful not to overextend. We see Puppy far back. If they go on Havost, they'll send him home and he'll run. The Wildkin Tornado also scouting things out. This is the right way for Navi to push. Not a hyper-aggressive one, but just calmly sieging the tower, hoping to draw a rotation from the mag. And if they get that rotation, that's what they wanted. They'll back off. But for the time being, they can't do it. The tower slowly being brought down, whittled away at by Havost. And now we'll see Edict. Actually, Kuroki marching forward a bit. Gets caught by an Ice Path. Will there be that TP from the mag? Not just yet. The Treant's tanking the Edict nicely, but the tower's going to fall very soon. There's your Sprout on Havost. They go for the deny. Here comes the teleport. Sand King into the fray. Where's the mag? Not coming yet. Just a burrow through on Puppy for the time being. Bit of a discombobulated fight at long last. Yao is going to join. He throws out a shockwave. He's looking maybe for a skewer. No, holding on to it. Wants to turn 2. Kuroki in trouble. Puppy's already fallen. Now the RP. Kuroki skewer directly back into an army of Treants. The creeps are here. The Split Earth will hit, and is in his last dying breath with a Puppy stun as well. They might yet bring down Yao. One more nuke. Yao, how is he still alive? That shouldn't be allowed to happen. One more dual breath. Yao's going to live. Havost is like, no, I got this, guys. I'm coming in. Army of creeps. Chao trying to TP out. He'll get stunned. The Prophet goes down. Should have just ran back with his team, but they get him in the end. Yao lives. That's big time because he's getting close to a blink.
Meanwhile, Dendi on the mid lane here working on this tier 1 tower. He's got a Blink Adaga already on his stash. And that's going to be more farm time. With this guy, with this Blink, he's not going to be dying anymore. So that's pretty good. Back on the top lane here, Funnick doing a little bit of harass on Sylar. And Sylar says, man, there's 0 in this game. He's got 3k go in the bank, and he's not spending a single bit of it. And that makes me afraid. As much as I like Radiance, I don't think he got Radiance here.
No,
he's got a Shadow Blade. Yeah.
Even Sylar. It's like you said, you already farmed so much gold with Midas, with Grievous Greed Max. You don't need... There's a certain point where it's almost a wasted inventory slot come late game. The Battle Fury is not normally going to be the biggest and most effective item. It's more just a farming item. Shadow Fiend will find a haster. And DDC in a bit of trouble. Dendy's going to go for a solo kill. Ice Pat's there.
Woo!
They're channeling Epi. Can they bring him down, though? Dendy just laughs and runs away. Now the Split Earth comes through. Dendymon on a roll. DD in trouble. Raze is going to jam it in. A quick double for him. Now Yao. Man, he should be okay, but they're really underestimating Dendy here.
Yeah, Dendy still got Blink, man. He could be raising some nice touch in by Dendy. Wow.
Yao needs to be triple raised. Sylar's coming in, though. He's got the Shadow Blade. Kuroki spotting him out, trying to be sent back by the Chen. He gets out. Look at the teamwork from Navi. Sensational, I must say.
I do want to say that Shadow Fiend started as 0 and 3, and now he's got 2 and 3. Like, nothing ever happened. The way that he was just shut down.
Imagine if they didn't gank Dendy
Exactly.
3 times. How bad would that be?
They shut him down for a full 10 minutes, gave him like 2 minutes of free farm, and he's right back. That's why Dendy's often considered as one of the best solo mid players in the West. He's just a sensational player, no matter what you do against this guy.
You gotta love that swagger. I mean, dying 3 times, I feel like there's almost no other Shadow Fiend players who would go for a Blink Dagger in that situation. A lot of players go for the Shadow Blade, but that's a little bit of a safer defensive item and also gives you some damage. The Blink Dagger is just a pure, raw confidence item. Like, I'm gonna outplay you. I get this item and you can't stop me.
Yeah, and of course, sometimes when you're good, you get lucky as well. Finding a haste rune in the river, getting himself a double, very nicely done. But what is the response to Sylar? What is his GPM right now? He's got almost 600 GPM pre-13 minute. That's insane to even think about.
I think basically what you do is you just put some sentries up in the lanes. You keep on scouting Roshan. if you're Puppy, so that LGD don't sneak the Rosh. As long as they don't sneak Rosh, and they're not taking towers, it's okay to let Sylar farm. There's no Midas on Profi yet, although now Xiaohui's gone for one. Maybe Navi wants to take a fight here or there, but I don't feel like they need to be really forcing.
Xiaohui on the bot lane here trying to TP out. The stun's going to come through right about now, and I do believe Xiaohui is going to be dead. Very, very good animation. The TP, yeah. Not using the stun too soon, getting every bit of attack in.
Yeah, that was really well played by Havos. Just patient and calm. If you Dragon Tail right away, Xiaohui would have lived, but waits until the last possible second, then throws it out. And now the push will mount top. Again, Navi don't really have to force this. There's no Blink Dagger on Yao, so they can just chip away at this tower. Yao could still be a problem if there's a big ice path, but he can't really initiate with Skewer unless Navi play this very awkwardly, and I don't think they will. They'll just have the Dragon Knight in the front lines once he decides to TP in. Havos soon will come. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just farm the jungle. Either way, they're not going to have their whole team grouped up, so it's going to be hard to hit a big RP.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger not going to be too effective because of the Acid Spray, but last time we saw Dandy Shadow Fiend just blinking in, initiating with Blink BKB Requiem. It's still a very, very good way to deal with some of these heroes. Although once BKB's up on Alchemist, it's going to be tough.
Here's Havost, and do they have Arcane Boots for him? They do. Now he's got access to a BKB as well as the level 2 Dragon Form. GDC trying to tangle, claw his way through these trees. He's been spotted out. The Split Earth will clear things out. Now they're going to deward. A nice sentry placement. There's no mech on Puppy. That is worth mentioning because there's a lot of AoE on LGD. But without the Blink Dagger now, I don't know if they can actually take this fight. They might just have to sack the tower. They're backing off. Shadowblade initiation from Sylar not going to be possible. Here comes Funnick. Shackle on DDC. Held in position. Now the Centaur Stomp comes through. They want to burst him down from distance. Havost muscling his way forward. Could Shadowblade initiate or BKB initiate, but doesn't have the Dragon form. So would have to get real close to do it. And if you're LGD, I don't know if you can really defend this tower. Havost Dragon Form is going to cool down. Sylar channeling the stun. Shackle is there. Connects on 2. Funnick just casually throwing out 2 hero shackles. It's like a no-look through your legs basketball shot, basically. They'll back off for now, but now the Dragon Form's up. If Navi want to be aggressive, I think they've got the tools to make it happen.
I want to say that Puppy Centaur feels like the real Centaur hero. Like, it just runs in, and everybody on the enemy team joins. It's just a neutral creep.
But I like how LGD is playing this, because they're not really forcing the fight. They're just slowing Navi down while they take the tower on the opposite side.
And guess what they're doing?
The
They're split pushing. This is how you beat Navi. When Navi just jams their head, and generally they break those pushes, but you got to make them pay. You got to say, hey, man, we're pushing your tier 1 tower. You push us, we push you back.
They could maybe even, well, maybe they can't go for Rosh yet, but this is where, at some point in this game, if you can get the lanes pushed out, you have Acid Spray, you've got an Empowered Alch. You want to try and sneak the Rosh from Navi. Maybe find a kill. The Prophet can split push top later this game. If they can sneak a Rosh, then Sylar can just charge in, not even carrying if he dies. Coming back and turning the fight around. Also, once he gets BKB, that's going to be a big pickup for them, because Navi have no way to prevent Alch from coming in, dropping his stun, and punishing Navi's lack of disables that go through BKB.
Yep. That was a 4-man smoke gank up top that failed, but they will transition back to jungle and start farming away. And like you said, Navi doing a very good job checking the Roshan constantly with illusions, with puppy creeps and whatnot. LGD Xiaohui now going back jungle and farming away. This is a fairly passive game, and again, I'd like to point out, with 2 Midases up and with Grievous Grease running, if you look at the goal chart, still Navi with... Like, how do they do this? How do they lead when you give away Grievous Grease free farm?
Well, they have taken 4 towers. LGD have only taken 1. So that's a big reason why they're leading. It's actually most of the gold lead. But that being said, Havost is farming really well this game.
He's keeping up with the Grievous Greed.
He's exceeding the Alch, minus the Grievous Greed. The net worth for the Alch still a tiny bit higher. But when you have a Midas max Grievous Greed Alch, you shouldn't be only 1k ahead of the enemy Dragon Knight. Just Havost not overextending either. He's playing really patient and safe this game, and I mean, truth be told, almost playing like a Chinese carry.
Yeah, Havost does not miss a single last hit. Nobody actually give him credit for that. Always saying, hey, he's out of position, blah, blah, blah.
But we haven't seen that Havost moment where, unlike Sylar, he'll just say, BKB, we're going in, guys, and can single-handedly win the team fight for himself by himself.
Not yet, at least. Not yet.
Not yet, but that time is coming. At some point this game, Havost will charge in, and if he gets the right initiation, LGD might just self-destruct.
Man, he's a Dragon Knight. His job is to charge in, so maybe not. We'll see. Shadow Fiend picks up the INVICTUS up top. Sylar, gotta be careful. He's surrounded from all sides. Oh, Courier gets blink, gets killed. Then he says, man, nothing's safe from me.
And that Courier had a bracer on it. So the Courier killed the main thing there. They just got the Alchemist BKB delivered. Sylar does live. Maybe they can make something happen. Actually, wow, Havost just finding a solo kill on the enemy Jakiro. No Shadowblade picked up and allowing him to find a pretty big kill.
That's an
making
issue
plays
for LGD. Remember last game when LGD was forced to kind of
it's the supports for LGD that It's just Navi's been able to punish them a lot.
I think support for LGD play well. Remember all the, like the 3-4 smoke gang they did mid against Shadow.
Oh, Blink RP
on
catches
the mid lane.
Savos. Now he's in a bit of trouble. He gets skewered back into an epicenter. He's tanky as hell. He's still got BKB. They can't burst him down. He's alive. He's going to live. Now turns around and goes in on Xiao 8. Havost is a complete menace in this fight. Where's Dendi? He's blinked in. He's channeled the Requiem. He unloads some decent damage. Actually didn't blink. Just walked in. They get the profit. Now they push the tower. Stun comes out, Dendi's gonna blink, that stun will follow you, but gets out of harm's way. And with no RP, there's no real great way to fight. Havosta's charged in a bit too far. Didn't have the backup, there was no send back from Puppy.
No, he
there.
did. It was just
A bit too late.
Yeah.
Now a profit buyback. They want to contest this. Funnick running away. They'll retreat to the high ground here, and Navi are going to escape. And, well, a wasted buyback from Xiao 8. And he had mech if he didn't buy back there.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate.
Well, he's got Midas soon, so Midas Reminder will be happy.
It's okay, I guess, but yeah, he's gonna farm his mech and he's gonna have it fairly soon. But again, I don't want to knock on DD and DDC too hard. They gained quite well this game. They were roaming up and down the map, getting a ton of Shadow Fiend kills, which is always good.
It's more just in the mid game. It does seem like Navi their supports are better at not getting caught, whereas it seems like LGD supports have been picked off quite a few times this series, and that's credit to Navi just having the aggressive heroes and making the plays happen. But LGD just. We'll have to see them play a little more defensively, I feel. They need the mech. They'll have it soon. They're getting those next items up, and I think it's actually really good for LGD that they have a mech and they have a BKB on Sylar. I just don't think you can go on Havost. Somehow you've got to find your way into the squishier backlines. Sure, Funnick's got a 4-step, but he's got 900 HP. They'll Shrek for Kuroki 1,000. Still pretty killable. Havost is not killable. Not without somebody like an Assault Cuirass and Empower on the Alch. It's just not going to happen.
Not with this level of item. You got to do something else. They use RP, Epicenter, Ice Path, Skewer, everything on top of that guy. He just scratched him. Meanwhile, Alchemist destroys his tier 1 up top.
That's what Navi wants. They want you to go on him.
Yeah, Funnick is going to be forced at 4. Shackle shot. Oh my goodness. That was a little bit
That
strange.
looked good. Looked like he found the angle there, but just a tiny bit off.
De-warding is going to happen here to the left side as well. And I think Navi is just going to slow sieges. They're going to send Dragonite in, hit it once, get the poison buff going on. Meanwhile, you can see Xiao 8 slowly split pushing. Now you got to worry about him a little bit more.
Sylar, picked up a Demon Edge, but he'll sell that and buy a Hyperstone instead here.
Maybe misclick or something.
Yeah, I was going to be curious about that one. But it looks like it's just a misclick. Dire Courier will respawn. And Navi still sieging the mid lane. They have a BKB on Dendi. If they can win this game, they'll be the grand final champion. They'll be the #1 team in the entire Alienware Cup. That puts them above 9 TI3 bound teams. That's a lot of stiff competition. The tower will fall soon. Last hit goes to Dendi. At long last, Navi, this slow, patient siege, switching gears very fluidly this game from aggression to passive, well, not passive, but controlled aggression instead of headlong aggression. They'll take a tier 2, now 1 tower remaining for LGD. Starting to feel a bit boxed in. Navi still 4 towers standing.
I mean, like you said, LGD leading by a ton of towers, Navi leading by a ton of towers, but LGD not falling too far behind. They actually have closed the gap in terms of the goal. That's a lot of it because of Xiao 8 split pushing up top, applying pressure. In fact, they're going for Roshan right now. They saw a couple TP score going up top, and this is LGD China that needs to play like this to have a shot to beat Navi.
This is where Puppy has been so masterful this entire tournament, constantly scouting Roshan with Chen creeps, with tornadoes from Wildkins, but it looks like this might just be one of those few moments where he's not aware in time. He'll send a Satyr in. Actually, no, they're giving up Rosh at this point. If they know about it, they're not contesting it. Truth be told, I don't know if Aegis is a game breaker as much as it normally could be. He's got a BKB and he's got Chemical Rage. If you use those before the Aegis is expended, when you come back, you don't have either. If you save them for after, you only get to use them once. It's not necessarily as powerful as an Aegis could be on other heroes, like a Storm Spirit, an Anti-Mage. But it is an Aegis, it's gold into LGD's pockets, and it also denies it to Navi, which I think is the big thing.
At the same time, during a team fight, when you use your Aegis, or when you send your Alchemist in and you draw those 2 BKBs from a Shadow Fiend and Dragonite, and sure, you die, but once you come back alive, their BKB charges are down. That means you could take a proper fight where you have your own BKB, and they don't. So it's still a very, very big addition to the team, but it's like you said, he doesn't come back with Chemical Rage, so it's a bit awkward, but they're still very happy to have it on Sylar.
So, Lumi, let's say this game continues how it is for the next 15, 20 minutes. LGD China slowly lose ground, but they still maintain the high ground control. They don't lose their racks. Maybe Navi lets this Aegis expire, then looks to push. Can Navi break the base? What do they need to do to just win the game? And if you're LGD, what do you need to do to withstand the onslaught and then come out on top?
I think Navi, when they often run this kind of strat where you kind of go for headlong pushes, what they also lack a lot is range stuns or range initiation. They don't have something like a Darkseer. They don't have something like a Magnus. So they rely on that Dragonite stun. They rely on Funnick hitting our RP. So as long as LGD have proper buybacks, they should be fine. Because in a heads-up engagement, if we go about 20 more minutes, LGD should have more items when your double Midas is kicking into gear. But we'll talk about that later, as we do see a tier 2 tower siege up top. Ice Path will clip, and they will back off from that.
And meanwhile, yeah, Xiao8, I like the way he's playing this game, just split pushing, not joining the fights too early, trying to draw NAVI back and blow, basically make them waste time, force them to choose. And now, while that's happening, Funnick, he'll look to get a good, decent positioning here for a shackle shot. LGD parked behind their tower. There's no blink dagger on DDC. Power shot comes through. The positioning is there, perhaps. A 4-step forward. A shackle narrowly missed by Funnick. He was going for the 2-hero shackle from the backside. Comes Yao. He's found the 2-hero RP. Dendi unloads a massive Requiem, but he just doesn't have the follow-up damage. BKB from Sylar. The Yao Mag strikes again, and now Navi in a headlong retreat. Sylar on the hunt. He's got Aegis, he's got Shadow Blade, waiting for that stun to cool down. It will be cooling down soon. Now he gives chase. Puppey, no way out for him. He'll try and take over a Centaur. You can woe Dota this Puppey, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's not. That's 3 dead. And that, my friend, is the Yao Mag. That guy delivers very frequently and consistently on that hero.
I mean, Shadow Fiend BKB Requiem was absolutely beautiful. It caught basically in the middle of the entire team, but unfortunately, Requiem does not have the same effect as a Mag ultimate, and that's why this hero is still kind of feared in pro games like these.
Yeah, very hard to push into Mag. Probably the single best hero in the game, outside of maybe Darkseer, just to discourage 5-man aggression.
Yep. And again, in prolonged team fights, you ask me, what does Navi need to do to win? They need to initiate better. They need to hit Shackle. They need to range stun from Dragonite. They miss the Shackle despite of that, and LGD just win in with a 2-man RP. When LGD gets a better jump on you, you lose flat out. No questions asked.
So we have a quick pause here. 1,000 gold lead right now for Navi, even in terms of experience. Remember, if you're just tuning in, Navi needs to win one more game of the next 3. If they win this one, they're the Alienware Cup Finals champions. They'll take home $25,000. What's your spidey senses telling you, Lumi? Do you have a gut feeling about who's going to take this game yet?
I said 3-1 Navi. I said it since...
So you think LGD will pull one out here?
Yeah. It's not going to be a wrap, although there will be a wrap.
Well, we have a bit of a pause, so
yes,
we'll make James and Bruno earn their pay. Guys, what do you think about this game? Anything that really stands out to you? Would love to hear your thoughts.
I love... I feel like a bipolar kind of guy. I love DK on Havos. Not particularly because it's the DK on the one position, but also because...
It's a Havos hero.
It's a Havos hero. I mean, he can be as aggressive as he wants. He can just dive in the middle of 4 or 5 people and he can get away with it. So this is working so well. And Funnick, that guy, even though he spent the first 14 minutes of the game AFK farming.
That was probably the most boring thing he's ever done.
Yeah. Look at him now, hitting all those shackles. And the game is back, so...
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say quickly, I'm going to agree with Lumi on this one. I think LGD, in terms of how this game's going to go down, they should have a pretty good way to initiate and fight, and I'm just worried about when that Sand gets his Blink Dagger, because he's on his way.
Not only that, LGD China has done this Magnus Alchemist combo, and when that Alchemist gets a little bit more farm,
Which
and the
he just picked up
Empower,
in AC,
yeah, that will be scary. I mean, the Dragonite has lots of HP and armor, but an Alchemist hitting that hard with Empower, it's pretty much a free Battle Fury. It's going to melt faces. So
yeah. And of course, when that BKB gets on a lower, timer,
duration,
the RP is going to be even more effective. So LGD could be getting stronger. Dendi needs to get fat. Anyway, back to you guys.
All right. Well, we'll see if Dendi can get fat this game. I think he has a long way to go. Just enough money now for Yasha. I don't think there's anything else in the courier. Yeah, he needs a lot of farm, because, I mean, Alk has Empower on his side, and he's got RP on his side. That gives automatically whatever carry LGD has the advantage in these fights.
Just want a small thing I just want to point out, take a second there. Puppey has a Ogre Frost Mage. If you're a Chen player and Enchantress player, do not underestimate what this creep could do deep into the late game. Having free armor, and especially sort of quote-unquote immunity against melee hero, just very invaluable. So Puppey picks it up. Good against Acid Spray, good against that AC negative armor aura. Hopefully will give his team a little bit more tankage.
For Navi right now, they've got 4 heroes grouped up in the mid lane, just sitting defensively. Looks like Funnick's actually going for a Shadow Blade, which is a pretty interesting pickup. This can set up some sick shackles, and then you can use your Force Staff defensively.
Yeah, why not?
He'll get the Shadow Blade now. It's
nice damage.
It's one of those, like, if you hit the big shackle, it can just change the game, or if you don't, then it's just kind of a useless item, because his physical damage is very minimal, even with the Shadow Blade, but helps him split push a bit. LGD, no gem yet. Maybe it'll force them to go for one. It's an interesting item for them. I think this is where Navi do need to be creative, because in a heads-on engagement, LGD China, even in terms of golden experience, but they have the AoE, just massacre, and they've got the split push advantage because of Prophet and a Shadow Blade out. So I think Navi do have to get creative, and maybe a Shadow Blade for Funnick is the solution.
So to me, my question to you is, do you feel like Navi has a sense of urgency? Because that's Shadow Blade's halfway to a Scythe, and Scythe to me is infinitely better when you go into later games when BKBs are going down.
I think the issue is this Aegis. Like, they have to wait for it to go down. It will go down now, but now Sylar's up to 3k gold. They have to somehow take the next Roshan fight, and I think the only way they do that is with a great Shackle Shot initiation, with a Dragon Tail Shadow Blade initiation. If it's a heads-up engagement and LGD aren't caught by surprise, they win it. So an item like Shadow Blade, great around the Roshan pit.
But there's a Blink Dagger and Sand King.
Well, still, if he gets caught, he could die.
Yeah.
There's no gem yet. That's something LGD really should get soon. We'll see who goes for it this game. The Sand King just gets his Blink. DD, I imagine that's going to be his next item, as he's farming the jungle and he's very close. And the Chinese teams really do prioritize the early gem.
Yep. Also, the small thing to point out is that DDC has been receiving Empower buffs. We've been talking about Empower on Alchemist and how quickly he farms.
Yeah.
Your support Sand King, still melee, still could get those farming edge, and he's...
Thanks, Yao.
Yeah.
He'll be singing Yao's praises after this game. The gem will come out first for Navi. Puppy the one to claim it. An item that can get you map control around the Roshan pit. Obviously, this item isn't that great against LGD. Otherwise, it'll see the Sylar Alchemist coming in, but if he's BKB, they're not stopping him anyway, and most likely he'll be initiating with BKB. So much more for the map control here, I feel, and we'll see if he can secure the map control. It's a bit of a passive game. This is much more the tempo that LGD would prefer to play in general. They're in their comfort zone right now. Somehow Navi have to shake them out of that comfort zone. I don't know how they do it, but they've got to find a way, because this is the pace that LGD do best at.
Yeah, this is a slow game. It's a game where they don't have to feel like they have to farm as a 5 unit. They could now jungle a little bit safely. They have the initiation to say, if I see you out of position, I'll go for a pick, and when I do get a pick, I'll farm more. And of course, I have Grieval Greed, Double Midas. Also, we've been saying that Double Midas has been a good farming tool. Let's not forget the fact that it could pop a Chen Creep at any moment whenever it's on cooldown.
It's mostly a farming tool.
Yeah, it's added benefit. Maybe you just have it up on cooldown when Puppy's charging at you.
For the time being, it's all about Roshan number 2. For LGD, they're sitting back, they're farming, they're pushing the lanes. Because they have a Shadow Blade out with Empower, because they have a Nature's Prophet, the lanes are going to be generally on Navi's side of the map. Navi have decent abilities to clear the creep waves, but you can see the mid lane just now crossing the river, the top lane way past it, and the bottom lane crossing it as well. Shao 8, if he wants to just spam his ult constantly and push the waves, it wouldn't be a bad way to go. Alchemist can farm stacks. They already have their Blink Dagger on Sand King. For the time being, though, they're content to sit on that Prophet Ultimate. And now LGD, BKB up on Yao. They'll go for a 4-hero smoke. The timing is such that if they win a big fight right now, they can take a tier 1, a tier 2 mid, and then possibly set up for Roshan. Just finding a kill could put Navi in a very bad position.
So you say the key fights at the next Roshan. Is Navi going to take a fight like how LGD is trying to force one before the Roshan happens, or do you think they should go into the pit and challenge them?
I don't know if they can afford to give up this Aegis. The first one, Sylar just had a Shadow Blade and BKB. Now he's got an AC and 4.7k gold. That's the point where the Alch just right-clicks your towers and they die. He's a demolition derby kind of hero in that sense. So I think this one, they almost have to contest it. I don't know if they can, though.
Yeah,
there's so much AoE in LGD. If they play it safely, Alch can be in the pit and solo Roshan, and you send Prophet Treants in there. The rest of the team just incredibly far back.
LG playing rather safe. I really think they could just at least walk in with the Alchemist Rage turned on and just go at the tower. But
it's a dangerous time to do it, though. If they are forced to use Sylar buyback now, and then they don't have it for the Roche fight, that could cost them. So I think this is where you just chip away at mid, you keep the lane pushed out, and you try and just force Navi to come to Roche, fight on your terms.
And guess what? Then he has Shotgun, baby.
Shotgun
Blade available. Now, when you're not really snowballing out of control on Shadow Fiend, it's much less impressive as an item. I want to even say
it's almost a defensive
item against Alchemist. So you could shoot it on your ally when Sylar's focusing on you. You could shoot it on Sylar when the BKB is down. But it doesn't feel like the fact, hey, I'm gonna blow you up easily with my EB Requiem. EB Requiem still does pack a punch though.
It does. He can insta-gib one of these supports if they get caught. Maybe you bring down DD, you remove his gem, and then LGD are playing without True Sight during the fight. That is something worth mentioning, that when you have double Shadow Blade, potentially this Windrunner and DK, you kill the Twin-Headed Dragon off the bat, and they can just do whatever they want. But we'll see. It all comes down to positioning. Navi, they know Roshan's respawning soon. They're trying to find a kill in the enemy jungle. A couple of heroes moving around. Puppey with a gem, leading the way up the hill. A little bit risky play from him, but he'll be okay for the time being. The creeps rotating through the jungle. Windrunner maybe going to place a ward. Funnick just parked on the high ground. LGD, they know their jungle's not safe. They're a bit lackey in terms of vision. They're sitting back. They're hiding near the secret shop. And now Sylar, he's bought something. Is this the Basher? The fabled permabash Alk? It's coming on the courier now. It will be a Basher. And while this is happening, this is the profit advantage. When you have a Nature's Prophet, you push the side lanes, especially that top lane. Either Navi lose a tier 2 or they lose a Rosh. And either way, they come out behind.
My question to you is, if you're Xiaowei, you got go for Hex or do you have go for buyback? Which decision will you make if you're in his position?
They've smoked now. I don't think LGD actually saw this. They're going to wrap around. Xiaowei TP's into the side shop. Just picked up his Sight device. Want a buyback. This could be a good fight for Navi. Shackles there won't connect on Sylar. In comes Shadowblade Havost. He gets hexed, however. Remember, there's a gem on this twin-headed dragon. Ice Path will catch him. Oh, I thought maybe LGD would go there. They had Blink RP. They had the Epicenter. But their lineup is the lineup that they can't mess up those spells. If you mess up those, they have long cooldowns, whereas Navis are spammable. So LGD, they want the perfect fight. They don't get it. They're just waiting for a TP back. And Xiaowei says, if you don't come back, I'm going to work on your tower. He's empowered up for the time being.
Forces a TP on tier 2. That's time to go for Rosh.
Well, for the time being, he TPs. Actually, Havost TPs to bottom lane. That tower's in deny range. Top lane was still pushing for Xiaowei. Trance in the pit. Still no commitment yet. Yao's going to clear out a bunch of trees to set up an easy blink here. Skewering through. He's got Blink RP. Navi, just no way into the pit. Tactically, they're at such a disadvantage because of the Prophet, because of the AoE on LGD.
Xiaowei, again, back to no good up top here. Summons a pair of trees, and it's going to the tower. And Navi trying to come in, but the Roshan just dies so quickly. Ice Path gonna war something off, and there's an Aegis on Alchemist. You said that needed to be the turning point for Navi. They don't get it, and in fact, they lose a tier 2 up top. They lose a tier 2 at bot, and LGD is looking in a good shape to take this game in an ultra late fashion.
Yeah, they are almost maxed on the Alchemist now. I suppose that's the good news. The Sylar's pretty much done farming. Dendi has a lot of room to grow. So too does Havost. They're going to try and shotgun down DDC. Double raises there. Triple raise won't connect. Now a stun from Sylar. Remember, he's got Abyssal Blade. The Force Staff keeps Dendi alive, but now he gets RP'd. Abyssal's available as well. It's a big hate train on Dendi. He's been Abyssal. He'll go down. Too much physical damage. Havost now caught. Scythed up. And now Ice Path up as well. Macro Pyre, Burrow Strike. It's all been thrown at the Dragon Knight. As tanky as he is, he will fall. A nice shackle shot from Funnick. Catches 2. But Navi must retreat out. LGD, no RP, but they can force some buybacks here. They barrel down the middle lane. If they'd like, they can at least take a tier 2 mid. They can do some damage to the tier 3 before Havost even respawns. He does a buyback. Dendi doesn't. 40 seconds on the sidelines, and LGD, they just have such an easy way to kill Dendi. RP, Abyssal, Hex, all of these. If Dendi gets caught by any, he's dead.
First time in 3 games here as we see a Burrow Strike going through, and Funnick Blink Skewer. Ooh, he barely missed. Funnick getting sent back. The stun is not going to hit as well. Kuroki staying for a little bit too long. Ice Path not going to clip.
Great disengage there from Navi. They could have easily lost 3 heroes, but actually the Ice Armor made kind of a difference there too. It slowed down DDC because he auto-attacked after the Burrow Strike. Unusual to see a Chen Creep make that small difference this late in the game. Still, this Dragon Knight might have to buy back because Sylar's going to kill your Axe in a hurry. Now a Blink Skewer. Clips Kuroki's been sent back by Puppey, but will it be in time? Not enough. Too much physical damage. The tower falling quickly. Leshrac on the sidelines. This doesn't look good for Navi. They started off strong 2-0. Even if they lose this game, they'll still have the advantage 2-1. But LGD, it looks like they might be striking back now. 5 heroes parked mid. RP cooling down in 25 seconds. Xiaowei and Sylar, a nice spread from them. They're just working on the racks. The Trance, slowly the heroes of this game. In comes Sylar, diving a bit. He'll throw the stun out. It will connect, just driving them off the tower while he takes the melee racks. Nice communication and teamwork. Shackled will fly, not going to connect. Sylar, on the run. Still alive, still has Aegis. And once you get 1 lane of racks and you have a Prophet, you have the dire advantage. I mean, this is where you shouldn't lose if you're LGD.
By the way, during the Roshan kill, that was the first time in 3 games that Xiaowei and his team is leading in terms of the go. And if you look at the go chart, my god, it's a steep drop. LG nowhere near done yet. They're going to go right here and start taking the racks. They have all the spells available. And I really don't think Navi can make this event.
Can they actually even defend now? There's still a Mag RP available. It's come back online. There's actually 4k gold on Yao. They'll try and start it off now. Havost has been caught. He's sight. Now the RP pulls Dendi up onto the high ground along with Havost. Dendi's in trouble. He gets bashed. He's going to go down. That's 2 carries on the sidelines. Havost went in, but he got scythed immediately, couldn't pop his BKB, and that's going to do it for NAVI in Game 3. LGD have made at least a ball game of it. They'll take one game. They now trail 1-2. Still a long way to go if they want to take the Grand Finals, but they've got some legs under them, Lumi.
They do. They really do. This is the one game that I'm going to say that they win. They found the stride. They split push. They do not Navi slow siege them. Navi has been slow sieging a lot in Alienware Cup, and Prophet is one of the heroes that could definitely punish them by doing so.
The synergy for this draft was just so much better than their past few games, and just their ability to win the lanes. Like, Navi didn't contest that safe lane Alc, and this is yet another game where a team safe lane Alcs, be it Navi, be it other Western teams I've been casting in other tournaments, or be it in the Alienware Cup for the Eastern teams. If you run a safe lane Alc and it's not contested, you have a very high percentage chance of taking the game.
Well, the drones will go down, but GG's already called. This is Game 3. That goes to LGD. The series now, it's 2-1 in favor of Navi for the Alienware Cup Grand Finals. What a game.
LGD rebanned.
Reban after this ban? No,
the chat already disbanded LGD. I don't think Ruru got the memo, but they were disbanded like 2 games ago. But they can reban for at least one more here.
One more game.
And well, with that being said, we'll need DPM to fill in as our producer. Kawa's had a long day.
Okay, so
yeah, I think I'm not even sure if Kawa's fallen asleep or something, but DPM could just press buttons. DPM, I can tell you what to press. Oh, she's waking up Kawa. Kawa's like,
he's a
I think
zombie
he's
right
on
now.
like 40 hours awake, or barely awake.
Yeah, that's one of those faces.
All right, yeah. So LGD bring back game number 3, making it 2-1. As you mentioned, guys, it's all about the synergy, really, in terms of how the team fights go down and the split push. Lumi called it, so go for something split pushy. And the reason I kind of wanted to point out the Blink Dagger on Sanking, it wasn't actually like counter initiation.
Yeah.
It was the initiation.
Right.
Because once you actually, like, when you have Magnus as you need to hit this RP, you can play around it. But if you have a Sand King with a Blink Dagger, you saw at the end it was all about him just getting a Blink Burrow Strike. Because once you put someone under a Burrow Strike, doesn't matter who it is, if it's one of the carries, they're going to have to BKB afterwards to stay in the fight. You can't really afford to sack them, because if you sack them when you're up against an Alchemist and a Nature's Prophet, you're going to give away the map even more. So it was just a really nice hero, and it was good that they got that item, and it just allowed that when the team fights went on, the RPs were always good, and they were really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was money on Mag.
Yeah,
he's much better than Xiao Wei.
You know, and Dendi, I said he needs to get fat. The Ethereal Blade, a little bit desperate.
He did that the last time as well. He did exactly the same build, blink into BKB.
I think it's decent against Alc, because Alc he'll kill anyone instantly, and you can ethereal whoever he's
I
focusing.
disagree. I think that what Dendi should have done is blink into Bloodstone. So
Can't
you
argue
go
with that.
there, you jump, you ult, you suicide. 1.5 ults.
Hey, can you take
boom.
it easy with the frog,
You'll do
please?
I think that's a great
Can
idea.
you be gentle?
Um,
No animal abuse. I don't want to have to call PETA on you. Bruno.
Yeah, it was like Dendi needed to survive an RP and be able to fight after it. That was the big problem. And the DK, played by Havos, was pretty far behind Silo in terms of farm. I think that was like a good, I don't know how many minutes difference. I'm going to say 5 to make myself sound like I know what I'm talking about. Between the ACs, I'm sure it was less than that.
he was leading for a
He
good
was.
majority.
Oh,
Wow,
game.
yeah.
And he was like getting solo kills on Xiao Wei, fighting a solo kill with his Shadow Blade. He was getting, like, if you have to put money on a carry, like, he was getting you that money.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think anyone at Navi made any big sort of tactical errors or strategic mistakes or misplays. It was more just the way the game developed was something that LGD, if played correctly, should win. Dire advantage. Prophet can force the enemy team back. Alchemist can take Roche in an instant.
Yep.
They had better 5 men around the pit. Cal was woken up for a few moments. He's like a narcoleptic now. He's just randomly nodding off.
This is
but
what it
yeah,
means to
I
be,
thought that strategically, like you said, just split push works better for LGD, and it's probably the best way to deal with Navi. That Prophet might be one of the most important heroes in the next game or two.
deal with this particular style of Navi played. Navi is not a one-trick pony.
What do you think we'll see? Storm Lifestealer bombs?
Maybe, although the last time they did that, IG just offensive trialing anti-mage, and that didn't go so well. So
We'll see if they find a way to land
yeah,
it.
we'll see.
But heading into game 4 now, guys. It's a 2-1 advantage in
Well-
favor of Navi. Can LGD force a game 5?
LGD can definitely force a game 5, and the factor that you have to look for is the kills
Kawa.
in the game.
No, it's alright.
Let him work at his own rate, it's fine. We were like 30 minutes into the game, and we were about 9 kills each.
It's really nice to see. Oh,
Damn,
no.
what's so hard?
What is that frog?
That's
That's
apparently
Ice
Ice
Frog
Frog
2.
2.
Ice frog too.
Yeah, that's
oh
who he is.
God. We got
Uh,
a giant panda down there
yeah.
as well.
Give me panda.
Good.
Give me panda.
pass it up,
No,
why
give us
not?
Panda.
Give me panda.
Okay.
Whee!
It's got a bit of a jump to it.
It's weird. There we go.
Yeah.
I will stop talking.
We should say that Havos played pretty amazingly.
Yeah, he played really well.
He on his lane, he was able to pick up Zhao playing the
The Prophet.
Prophet a few times.
I thought that particular one was more Kuroki hitting 2 unprotected stuns, but the mid game I thought was where Havost was really doing well.
Yeah.
Finding solo kills, pushing towers, not getting caught. The very end he did, but that's hard against the Scythe, against an RP, against an Abyssal Blade. There's 3 ways to pick him off.
I think
So.
Navi will actually be a little bit rattled actually from this loss.
I don't think so.
What are you laughing at? What's funny?
Sleep deprivation, I think.
Everything's funny.
What are you doing?
No.
It's a giant fat panda.
I think if you're Navi, you just look at this game and say, tactically, we had to crush the laning stage or we couldn't win this game. I said stop abusing the frog, Bruno.
Frog fell down, sorry. No, I lost the
DPM's
frog.
crying now. Look, you've made her cry. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel good? Do you feel like a man now?
No, I feel like a sleepy person, but the thing is, it's all about dictating tempo. Navi did something very well in games 1 and 2, which was forcing the team fights, forcing the engagement, not allowing them to farm, something that Nature's Prophet, even though he didn't have the best of start. As James pointed out to me while we were into the game, Havos killed him solo a lot of times.
Well, yeah, like he killed him sort of once. Yeah, and as LD mentioned, I think Kurkai was there at least one
Yeah.
or
The
other.
first
yeah,
kill,
because
yeah.
it was like 3 deaths on the lane, really. So
So he was set back, but he was still able to split push, which is something Navi couldn't respond to very well. And then there's always this dread that LGD China is saying, as long as we keep the kill score low, when that empower into Alchemist comes into play, Dragon Knight is irrelevant.
Yeah, you hit 1 RP,
And
game
bam,
fight's
game
over. Yeah.
Going with the trend of... Sorry to cut you
Go on.
off.
I was also going to agree with something you said about Funix Shadowblade. I felt that was very, in my opinion, very kind of desperate-y, similar to the Ethereal.
Because you could have gone Scythe if you farmed a
Yeah,
little more. But
I mean, I would have even gone Orchid over that. You know, it's not optimal, of course, but
Right.
it's like, yeah, Scythe would have been item of choice.
So-
And he should have been able to farm that, because that would have been pretty huge.
we're talking about the big RPs. We're talking about the split push in game 1 and 2. We talked about the MVPs for Navi, for them winning the game. Who's the MVP of this game for LG China, I guess?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was Magnus RP.
Sure, he didn't have that many big RPs, but he hit the one that really mattered, top lane, and then he hit the ones that entered the game after that.
Yeah, for me, it's Yao as well. The RPs are great. The mid lane shutting down Shadow Tween with the help of the 2 support. The skewers are always on point, so didn't make too many mistakes. I don't want to take anything away from Xiao, but you're a prophet. You TP and you summon some trees and you just do work.
I think there's just a lot of pressure on the mag there, because if he does mess up an RP, especially at that top tier 2 fight, they didn't have a whole lot beyond the RP. Like, they needed to hit that to set up the Ice Path, the Burrow Strike, the Macro Pyre follow-up.
Right.
But once he hits those big RPs, then the game's
Everything
just
goes,
wide
yeah.
open for them. So, any closing thoughts before we head into game 4 here?
No, I just think that Navi are going to be a little bit rattled, and LGD, once they find their legs, they can definitely take another game or even win the series.
Yeah.
And as mentioned before, that Nature's Prophet is going to be one to band out. But I also think that LGD found the importance of at least having a hero that is very good at counter-initiating, which is the Magnus. And it's something that you... Like Navi, they will go for you under towers. They will look for that pick-off and how to start the fight. And sometimes just having a certain type of hero allows you to play under your towers a lot nicer. Both teams are actually just saying go. I don't know if we can go to break here, LD.
No, we're already... Oh, actually, I'm not in the game. Whoops.
Well,
my
Luminous
Dota's,
Rabble
my
have
Dota's
to
not
wait,
letting
I
me
guess.
leave for some reason.
yeah, without you, it's going to be very complicated. Luminous Rabble have to wait until after game 4, I guess, because
Yeah.
Let's
It
do
might
it.
just
We
be
want to
the-
just do it at the end of the show then?
Well, maybe we can see what happens. If we have a break between game 4 and 5, if there is a game 5, we can
Do
do
I
it
get a
there.
say in this at all?
No,
or-
you don't. Sorry, you lost the bet.
You're lucky it's just a wrap.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be heading into game 4, and I think Navi, I don't think they will give them the Wisp. But if Navi gets some kind of ability to split push, rotate around the map a little bit better, some heroes that allow them to have a more globally strat. Even Hvos Spectre is actually very good for that. He split pushes very well with that hero. We'll be able to see something interesting. Otherwise, if we get the same kind of picks as last time, very conservative, very going into late game, LGD China might make this a series and go to game 5.
I don't see why Navi would do that though. Like
Do
if
what?
you're Navi, why would you play that kind of? Why would you play their game? You can force your game, and your tempo, you're better at. You can just
Space
beat them that
Cow.
way.
Space Cow, yeah.
But I feel like Magnus and Prophet are so weak early. It feels like, hey, you could have these like kind of strong mid game heroes, but
Yeah.
they're so ass in lane that we're gonna just beat you in
But
lane.
they could get away with the mag because Dragonite was picked early.
Right.
And they actually ended up being a Shadow Fiend mid, which in theory
Beats the
can
mag.
beat mag a bit, but
Until
LGD had the correct response, which was
Smoke
we'll
gank
smoke
trains.
gank
Yeah.
him repeatedly. We know you're going to run this Windrunner farming H-Hit. She can't do anything to help him. Puppy's a level 2 Chen. He probably won't participate in the fights.
although he has some sick creep
Yeah.
blocks and
Like if
eventually
they
gotta
see an
kill.
early Storm, Queen of Pain, TA or something like that, I don't think they'll go for the mag.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see.
Do you agree, Panda?
Yes,
Be gentle.
I agree.
Don't squeeze him.
I agree. Yay. Go, Navi, go.
You sound somewhat similar to a strange acquaintance of mine.
Wait, I'm sure he's awesome.
No, you don't. I shouldn't mention him.
Okay. Go, Navi, go.
Kawa, this is a really good time.
This is
to
this is
just
where you
shut
hit
the stream off, Kawa.